Think about it. 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 Think about it.
Today, we're going to talk about family. That word that means so much to so many people, be them saved or not saved. We're just talking about people in general. But it's this institution called family that has been broken into so many pieces, has been so redefined by man and society, that in that redefining of the word family by so many, I think we've also lost the beauty of it and the essence of it. You can, on your own time, because people have so many definitions of it, look up the, quote, definition of family. You can do that in a good dictionary without a lot of trouble. But I want to go back to Genesis 2. Because in Genesis 2, we find that Jesus Christ, that God said, during the creation, after he had created everything, then he had made man, and he placed man in the Garden of Eden for a purpose. But he said something very interesting, something very intriguing. God made man. God is awesome in all that he does. He knew he had made it something extraordinary. But he says something. We're going to look at the 18th verse. And it says, then God said, it's not good for the man to be alone. I will make a helper who is just right for him. It's not good that man should be alone. I will make a helper that's just right for him. So if you go to verse 21, then it says, then the Lord God caused the man to fall into a deep sleep. While the man slept, the Lord God took out one of the man's ribs, closed up the opening. Then the Lord made a woman from the rib, and he brought her to the man. At last the man exclaimed, this one is bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh. She will be called woman because she was taken from me. God said it's not good that man should live alone. And what I want us to understand, it wasn't just for companionship. It went further than that, because he says, I'm going to make him someone that's just right for him in every aspect of his life and his being. So he made a woman, and he ultimately told them, you need to procreate. I want you to replenish the world. I want you to make a family. And that family will make a family. It wasn't just simply, he says, I don't want man to be alone, because you have to go back to 18 when you have to recognize God had made all of the other beasts. All of the beautiful beasts he made, and he had brought to Adam and told Adam that he could name them. So it wasn't that Adam was just completely alone. There was nothing else. But none of those things were right for him, for what God would want him to do. So he made him a woman, someone that was good for him as it related to him as a person, but also to procreate, to make a family, to then make families, so that we'd have a foundation that we could stand on. We'd have a place to go where we felt like we belong, because he made a being that needed to feel that he belonged to something that made sense. This is why we have so many people today, that now that they're, just redefining family, we find people getting caught up in all types of groups. Simply because there's that need to belong, whether it's a gang, whether it's a sorority, whether it's a club. All of those things actually substitute for families, because you feel like you belong, you feel protected, you feel like someone cares, and you will align yourself with people that aren't good for you simply because you believe they care. Caring about one another or being cared about is an awesome feeling, and we need it. But we also need to remember that we're responsible for developing families. You just can't make up a group and then call that group or define that group as a family. It may give to you what you didn't have in your original family, but the danger is that we're making up all types of groups and calling them families. They may help us, they may give us protection, they may give us comfort. But what is transpiring is that now people are not worried about developing biological families. We fall apart at the drop of a hat. We stop speaking over things that don't matter. We have no desire to come together. We have no feeling of camaraderie or closeness. I mean, what's happening to us? God says, I want you to create families with a special bond, a special love, a special way of communicating, recognizing each other's faults and shortcomings, and never letting your problem supersede your love for one another. We call everything and everybody family. But look what God said. He said, I'm going to make him a helper who is just right for you, just right for him. Just because it's a group that makes you feel better, does it mean they're right for you? You can't always pick your family. I know that's true. Well, you can't pick them. But the truth of the matter is, you ought to value them enough to work through the trials and the trouble, because we shouldn't be alone. But it's not just you need another person. This world needs the solidity of families. Think about it.